Good morning, good morning, good morning. What is going on, everybody?
Good
Mr.
morning,
Jason,
Tom.
how are you?
+9 as always.
Caitlin, good morning. How are you doing? I thought you were on summer break and were going to be with us every single morning, but here you are, just Friday.
Is
Just messing
Caitlin a
around.
teacher too?
She is, yeah. Yep,
Yes.
she is a teacher as well.
Good morning, Caitlin. Happy
She
summer break. You better be a +9.
Oh, that's right. Day one of summer break. I don't know if it was the day she got out or the next day, but her husband broke his elbow. That's right. I remember that. Straight
Yeesh.
to the emergency room. Happy summer.
Night
Night one.
one.
Yeah.
We usually tend to go hard night one of summer break. So that's allowable.
Caitlin, is it I know you guys are gamers, like a board game, card game, that kind of stuff. Will it affect his game? Are you guys going to be out of your tournaments and your conventions and everything you're doing? Um, yeah, they play those very detailed board games. Like she paints like the little figurines
Oh, like
of what? Yeah, I'm not
haven't
familiar.
played, but like I'm really interested in like I love seeing all the work that goes into games like Warhammer 3,000, 40,000 or something. I'm
Yeah,
assuming games like that. Warhammer. I don't know if you're, Caitlin, I don't know if you're asking for clarity or if you're checking for understanding. That's a teacher question right there. But I play Warhammer. Okay.
but good morning, everybody. How's it going? How was your Thursday? How is your Friday going? Jason, did you get to the gym today? You look chipper. You look awake. You look alive.
I did. And I do feel more alive, a little more focused for sure. It's my, so when I get on here, one thing that I've been thinking about is it's like usually it's like I get home or I wake up and I rush right downstairs, which doesn't always make for good conversation. Like it's a great habit to have, but it's also something worth like actually like, giving myself a few minutes like you do to kind of prep.
Yeah.
You give yourself like an entire hour. It sounds like at least. So yeah, I'm feeling good. Um, Came away from the reading last night with, I think, some good points. It also kind of gave me some time to actually like reflect on it and how it applies to, what my childhood and how I dad girls. Um, so that's like another point that I'm trying to focus on too, is like making this short 30 minutes together worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I typically give myself about an hour, at least a half an hour. I got a half an hour today. Was up a little too late last night because I was trying to put together that little video that I sent. Like I figured, oh, I'll try to use. I even tried to do it the easy way, right? Just CapCut, select the photos and videos I wanted, and just let the AI like crop it around and do it. But then uh it didn't get all the cool parts of the videos. So then I went into it and I tried to like, move the times around and get some of the cool parts of the demo. And it ended up still not like saving my changes or something. I'm just so not, you know, up to speed on all that stuff that it didn't end up as good as I would have wanted it to. Like how you're like, oh, I want this video to be like this in my mind. And you're like, so you put it in the AI thinking it'll get that and it doesn't. And you're like, son of a, like, um, so I stayed up a little too late doing that, which a little too late for me is 9:30. So I I love sounding like an old person because it makes me happy because I am an old person. So yeah, I popped up about 30 minutes ago and I got down here into the garage and I realized I haven't been down in the garage doing this for like almost like a week and a half now.
Hmm.
And the garage was trashed. Like I had to like do cleaning to find this space and everything like that. So we're here. Good morning, Greek Mike. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, we're off to the races today. And I'm excited. Maybe.
I'll say optimistic.
Yeah. Yeah. Got my bright green V-Dad shirt on. Feeling good.
Oh, why didn't you tell me you're wearing it? I would have worn mine.
I just dug it out of the closet. I was like, I haven't worn this in forever. Yeah, there's the rumor has it that my wife is taking the kids to Knott's Soak City today. So we'll see. I might have come home to be a dad to not have kids.
Well, you can spend your dad time in the
She,
garage.
she thought I was gonna be working today, so she's like, I'll just take the kids to Soak City. Um,
I'm assuming that's a water park of sorts.
yeah. Yeah, we have a theme park called Knott's Berry Farm. It's pretty close to Disneyland. It's like a lesser than competition of Disneyland. A little cheaper, so it's a little easier to access.
Mhm.
Still pretty fun, still pretty cool. And then yeah, they have a water park version there. Kids love it. They get season passes the last couple of years from my dad and his wife. So they enjoy going.
Nice.
Yep.
We have Waterworld out here, which is, I'm assuming, similar. Not necessarily a stand-in for Disney World, but it's a pretty epic place. You do a lot of walking. It's the kind of place where it's like
Oh yeah.
the rides end, but you're not totally sure on where to go to get to the next ride. Generally, you have to walk uphill. That's
Oh,
usually what it's like. But yeah, good times. We got David finishing a race. David, tell us about your race. What race did you finish last weekend?
yeah. I didn't know you were in a race.
And congratulations.
Wisconsin Dells is the water park capital of the world. Is that a true fact?
I'll
Do you know
say
that?
I'll say yes.
Okay.
I don't know any better, so
Why would a teacher lie to us?
yeah, correct. Oh, Indy 500. Oh, watched it. Let's at least pretend that you were driving, David.
Oh man. Cool. What do you guys got going on this weekend?
This
Anything?
weekend in the Turner household, today we have softball, t-ball. Then me and Kristen have an adult soccer game,
Oh, nice.
which
Yep.
I feel like I'm healed for. I don't know if I told you, but the last time we played was 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And I pulled
remember.
my left calf and right groin at the exact same time.
Ouch.
And I just like stood there frozen while like the whole other team just ran past me. It was like the most middle-aged injury.
See, Caitlin, it's not just your husband.
Well, I didn't break anything because I wasn't rage quitting Catan.
You say you changed from softball to t-ball. Is it actual like t-ball like with a baseball and like co-ed? Is that what your girls are doing?
So my youngest, this is like her first organized activity is t-ball.
Mm-hmm.
Which if you haven't done t-ball is like to the kids, it's like they have a glove on a hand which they don't really know how to use, and
Yeah.
it's
Oh yeah.
just kind of this thing that on their glove the ball gets hit, and it doesn't matter where kids are on the field, they all converge on the ball.
Yep.
And like the
Like
first
soccer.
2 times it happened, I was trying to be like, okay, wait, no, you're on this side, so you stay there. That didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So then I would like draw circles in the infield with my foot for each kid to stand on. That worked for maybe 5 minutes.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we're really just
Done
kind of
that.
focusing on like throwing, kind of catching, and hitting.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious, but there's a very there's a very fine line between like finding it entertaining and lowering your expectations,
Yep.
or like just not getting frustrated, just like kind of getting lost in the in the mess of t-ball. So it's definitely it's a new way of thinking for me, teaching little kids. Like you figure
Yeah.
to teach middle school, this should be easy, but it's definitely different. But I enjoy it. I'm happy that I was asked to assistant coach. So
That's
that's
one of
what
those
we're
things
doing.
where you have to check yourself from having like too lofty of goals like for that age group. It's like they all get there and it's like at the end of the season, if if they had a good time and they're wanting to sign up next year, like that's the easiest way to mark it down a win.
Keep.
If
Be right back.
yeah,
Continue. I have to get a dog.
if B, they are able to like hold their glove or have a general realization of what baseball is and how the game works, that's another big W at that age group. But Caitlin, proud of myself for advocating. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you stood up and did that. Hopefully, whatever it was that you were advocating for, you know, got to upper management and will, change your shift or, it's awesome. Good job. It's hard to do that. Hard to stand up in a room of your peers or superiors or anything like that and, you know, say something for sure.
Dom,
You
what do you
have
got
any
going this weekend?
Nothing. Nothing that I know of. Like I said, the wife might take the kids, which means I'll clean the house and work a little bit. There was rumor of a pool party at a friend's house, but I think my wife might have turned that down. So I might try to push to get back into that. But other than that, I haven't actually checked the calendar to see if we have anything down for Saturday or Sunday. I don't think so, man. Might just try to find some time and go out on a date with the wife. Um, maybe pull a kid for some one-on-one time. I've no idea. The week was a whirlwind, but it was also like work and everything coming to like a nice little settling point. So yeah, it was a good, like it was like the week where you come down off of like the busy weeks. It's still a little busy, but like you're coming down. So
Question for you, and maybe for
mhm.
the chat. When you have an upcoming few days where nothing is really planned, do you tend more to try to plan that time and fill it, or do you let that time happen?
Just let it happen. Yeah, I think I tell my wife all the time that like we need to have some weekends where it's nothing, like because we schedule enough things, we schedule enough weekends away, we schedule enough weekend parties, we schedule enough of those holidays. Our birthdays are all very spread out, so there's a good 70, I would say a good 70% of weekends and days are planned. So the other 10, 20, 30, it's just like let it flow. Like if something comes up today that we want to do on Sunday, then like that we hadn't planned, great. Or if we just sit around the house and clean and stuff, great too. There's always work to be done.
Yeah. I go both ways. Some days I get antsy about planning time because sometimes when we have too much, we'll say garbage time, not
Yeah.
literally, just time where not really necessarily just kind of piddling around. That's when things tend to go haywire with kids, because it's like if the kids aren't busy, they'll either do nothing or we ask them to get off the iPads and then they start going nutso. So and then that puts me and Kristen on edge of it. So
Yep.
so I usually tend to be like, okay, let's get something planned. But then at the same time, having nothing kind of feels good too, because we do a lot.
Yeah.
Whether you have kids or not, you probably have time where you just love sitting around and time where you feel like you have to do something.
So
I don't know
weird.
what not having kids feels like, but I'm assuming that I would do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a like I feel like I read somewhere that, the way that our kids are growing up are a little different than us, where and the generations before us, where there wasn't as much scheduled, so we had to be a little bit more creative with our playtime and getting those wiggles out. Obviously there was no iPad, so the iPad, and the TV is kind of like messed that little version up. There's all this instant joy out there. So I still try to do it. It's very hard. Like I said, like you said, there's plenty of times where if we don't have anything scheduled, we will just like sit around the house and all stream or play games or whatever. We try to do we try to break out here and there, go outside. Luckily during the summer, like we do have the pool, so it is very much used. My wife and kids were in the pool every single day this week. So they've spent their summer so far in the pool, which is great. Well, yesterday they went to the beach instead of the pool, so same thing, a body of water. But funny enough, they all came home with rashes because they were doing a lot of boogie boarding without rash guards. First time in the sand, sensitive bodies, they all got scratched up.
Yeah, I loved boogie boarding. That was definitely my beach activity when I was a kid. Yesterday, I had to go drop off a couch. We sold a couch that we got that was like, if I could make a visual for you guys, imagine in the movie Elf when Will Ferrell like goes into the bathroom and sits on the toilet and cries. We bought a couch. Kristen bought a couch from the Walmart website Wayfair. We have two dogs that are bright white and they shed.
Yeah.
We bought a black couch and
Oh no.
and she bought it online. It got here. She built it and we sat in it, and it was like a 3/4 size couch, like great for the kids, but it was like the back went up to maybe my mid shoulders, and like the seat went to like maybe
Yeah. You
three
felt like a
quarters
giant.
high.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was that we had that. I think we had it for maybe like 3 weeks, and then we sold it. But I dropped it off in kind of like a more of a rural neighborhood, and like dirt roads and stuff. Driving on dirt roads with black couch, also a no-no. But I drove past like some kind of farmland, just a lot of land, and there were like 5 kids just playing baseball in this plot of empty dirt, and I was like, that's awesome.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
sand, like very 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 sand lot, and it was cool. Like I drove a bit slower, hopefully not looking creepy, just to kind of watch.
Should just drop the couch off. They needed a place to sit after playing.
Yeah. Let's talk about day number 30 in this month of May.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I enjoyed this. A lot of really good questions came my way about the debts that we leave our kids. The story starts again with Theodore Roosevelt, not complaining, but talked about how, I guess, focusing on people in politics, or government, the older folks, and then there was also a song later in the day came on that kind of went through this song by Tom Waits called Hell Broke Loose," which is, if you're familiar with Tom Waits, he is usually screaming. He usually sounds like he's gargling gravel, but this really, really great song that I heard while I was at the gym, just about a guy who goes off to war and gets broken. And kind of how he's been sold this story of why he's going to battle, and the story of Quentin Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt's son, went off to war in World War I, and he ended up Teddy Roosevelt ended up losing his kid to a war that he was involved in the facilitation of. So the ultimate debt is paid by our kids. And the questions that I kind of had come through to me was like, what kind of debts am I leaving my kids? What debts were I left by my parents or my grandparents? Like, what debts go through generations? Like my grandfather, he was in World War II, like many of our grandfathers. And I often wondered how that affected like my parents.
Mm-hmm.
So like my dad always talks very highly of my grandfather. But nothing ever really specific. Like, he went to war, never really talked about it. Came back and was a carpenter and built their house on the Jersey Shore. But never really any specifics of like anything that kind of popped up in that wartime. And same with my mom. Like, my mom definitely holds her dad in high regard, but we probably have talked about it before, but I don't remember really any specific thing besides like, maybe their character and stuff. And I'm wondering how that translates to me. As an example, did not grow up going to church. That's not something that I did. Was I interested in it in my later life? Kind of, I guess, more of like a spiritual aspect. Most of my religious experience came with the girl that I dated in high school for a while. She was involved in the church, and we did like work camps. And I also had a Mormon friend who I went to a Mormon youth camp with, which was a very interesting way to end my high school years. All great experiences, though, that all kind of builds, my life experience. Just kind of opened my eyes to some things. But like, we don't take our kids to church, but they are interested. Kristen is more so, and she's more interested. She grew up Catholic, but doesn't really go to church. So the question I kind of have that is still unanswered is how will that translate to my kids in 10, 20 years or so? Not to mention the financial ones. Still got student loans. We're okay with me, kind of sometimes. But like, how does that translate to our kids and how they handle things?
Yeah, I think it's so hard, like, to even think how something we're doing right now is going to translate to them. The examples in the reading were so, direct. Like, the examples that it gave were, these were direct political figures. Their kids went off to war, all that stuff. But for me, what's funny is I was just at lunch with my buddy, and we were taught, we always get on the subject of financials, because he's very much a financial planning kind of guy. He, has, X number, he's got 6, 8, 10 months of runway for his company. His wife makes a decent living, but all of his income pays his bills. So his wife is literally just like stacking cash. And like, he's always talking about generationally, like his family kind of like has taught him to set each other up for generational like wealth, and or at least financial well-being. Whereas my family is kind of the opposite. We're very much like the American consumer type family, where we're on the hamster wheel, where every dime we make, we spend. You know,
Same.
every time I get a raise or an increase in pay, I still end the year going, why don't I have any money? Like, I made more money this year. It's like, well, you spent more money this year. Um, and so just, that's where my mind went with the reading. And honestly, because he and I had the conversation yesterday where it's like, when I leave, I'm going to leave my kids with debt. Like, but hopefully like less debt than like my parents leave, or hopefully, there is a turning, like one of my biggest hopes, and I tell my friend this all the time, is like, by putting myself in a relationship with him, it's just like this with you and Ryan and Blaze and everybody here. It's like, by putting myself in a room with you guys and openly having conversations about being a better parent and a better person, and with him being a smarter financial person and a better business person, like, by having those conversations and being open about it, I'm hoping, and I've already seen it happen, but I'm that's what I'm hoping changes things. That's what I'm hoping makes the difference. It makes my kids, when they're my age and have kids and they're on a daily mom or dad call, they're saying much different things about me than I'm saying about my parents. And, like I said, hopefully they'll be more financially savvy so that they're, starting to create generational wealth for the family going forward. Like, I'm going to be the person that changes it, and they're going to be the person that actually does it, is what my goal is.
Yeah, planting seeds that make change.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm in the same boat as you for sure. It's like I feel like we, like me, Kristen and I, we've had to learn some some financially hard lessons that sometimes we seem to forget. Like, well, we'll have a windfall where it's like we always talk about what we need to do, but then it's like we let the things that bleed that away, whether it's like, you know, it usually goes to making events for family time, which I feel like we've had the slight lack of. Like, our family time is full, but it's like, you know, just trips, things that like we can make memories of. Like, that's what we're really trying to do, because like we got a 12-year-old that will soon be less interested in spending time with us. That time is very limited. It's like the thoughts that come to my head is like, I've been out of my childhood house for twice as long now as I've lived in it, and at some point we're going to be at that point.
Yeah.
And like, what memories are we making with the kids that they'll want to keep those going? Um, that's kind of where my head goes. That's where both of our heads go when we do have that windfall, is like, what energy, what can we do with this new energy? And then saving usually comes like third or fourth. It's more in my mind, but like Kristen is more of the, I don't want to say spender, but she is better at like planning specific things with like a financial windfall better than I am, where I'm more of like a hoarder that just kind of gets bled away by like necessities that that are either wait for it to happen or have been sitting around for a while, whether it's like auto or house or stuff like that. Um, so yeah, hoping we can alter that path a bit.
Um, yeah, just wanted to shout out our friend Karen Camel, or Ryan. He's been gone for a while, but he's back, or has came back, and of course, what he just posted. That's a lot, man. It's real heavy. So we're here for you in any way we can be. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully, the diagnosis isn't too bad. I know there's different variations of cancer. There's we caught it early. There's we did it. There's the different forms, but hopefully it's nothing too bad. My neighbor got cancer a couple years ago, and she went through all the treatments, and beat it as far as we know. And she's doing really great and really fabulous right now. So thankfully, medicine, modern medicine, and all that we have going on is getting a lot better. So super hopeful for you, your family, your mother, that she gets good treatment and that she gets through it. You know, but yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah.
Really makes you want to double click into, a lot of the stuff that we talk about here and in VFriends is just, gratitude, appreciating the time, working less, going on those vacations more, um, spending the time with your loved ones instead of streaming and buying Chrome cards, So yeah, sorry to hear that, man. Like you said, sending prayers and love for sure. 100%, buddy.
Yeah. My mom went through that.
Oops.
It is rough. She came out um, through the process. But yeah, it always sucks
Yeah.
hearing about, especially when it's so close. So we're thinking of you. Please keep us updated. We can be your sounding board for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Stop in, tap in. The VFam is here. Brofit's always good for a call. All that stuff, man. So thank you for popping in and saying hi. Um, hopefully with a little bit of us being here and chatting with you, hopefully it helped you just for a minute, just get out of the distraction or to just smile a bit. So yeah, it's big sorry, bud. Big one. And we love you. And we love your mom. So hopefully it all goes a little better, or you can at least get out of your head a little bit of it, right? There's not much you can do except be there and enjoy that time with her. But man, that's rough. Super rough.
And I'm glad that glad that you're sharing with us. That's good for you for sure.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things that a lot of us have learned through the VFriends community, and like how that like this space kind of like evolved with Ryan and Blaze is even though it's hard to, it's a little nerve wracking and all that stuff, like just putting the comment out there, um the vibes that come back from everyone else, it does help. It does help to say it. It does help to get that, that attention to the matter that's kind of hurting you. The love comes back from the community and from people. So yeah, like you said, it does help, even for just a moment, right? It's kind of like it's not going to change things, right? It's just her cancer's not going to go away. She's not going to heal tomorrow, but like it'll help you in that moment be able to refocus off the doom and gloom, off whatever you were going through, and just read messages of love. Caitlin knows for sure. A lot of us know.
Mm-hmm. And it takes a bit of the mental load off of you too. You don't have to carry it alone.
Yeah, exactly. Whew. Got me a little misty eyed, buddy, but I'm here for it. Thank you, everybody. It is Friday. If you're still in school, congratulations, it's Friday. If you're working, congratulations, it's Friday. If you work on the weekend, I am so sorry for you. I'm just kidding. But yeah, we'll thanks for stopping by. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for always being in the chat. We appreciate y'all. We love you. If you want to sweat, go check out Brofit. He's probably starting a show soon. If you don't want to sweat and you want to enjoy the rest of your morning, then don't click on his profile. We love you all. We'll see you all maybe tomorrow. I'm feeling good. We might do a tomorrow show, but if not, 100%, I'll be back on Monday. Peace. Love you guys. Jason, love you too.
Love you too, Dom. See you guys.
See you guys. Play that funky music.